And good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to today's episode of Law, News, and Laughter. Things I will not be talking about today. Lydia Loudmouth Thorpe has been told to sit her butt down while arguing in Parliament. KFC is facing a class action over work breaks. And a New South Wales man's attempt to sue over stalking on Facebook has been dismissed as a bid to just stay in contact with his ex. Yeah, all these various things that I just do not care about, and that frankly, although they make it into the news as far as I'm concerned, they're just not worth the time and effort. Can you please just blow your nose or something, okay? She's very excited this morning. Don't forget, people, that we, at the $50 mark, we do have Labrador butt cam. She's very excited. Things I will be talking about today. A Chicago court has said maybe, just maybe, we should retry a suspect who was convicted based on the eyewitness testimony of a blind guy. A woman who threw a burrito bowl at a Chipotle staffer has been sentenced to work at the fast food restaurant. And Panera is serving sandwiches, soups, and lemonade so caffeinated that it now has a kill count. So let's get stuck into it, people. Welcome to today's episode of Law, News, and Laughter. But first off the ranks today, we have Unbelievable, the hilarious moment two neighbours get into an extremely petty war over a pile of leaves in Minnesota. I immediately, you know exactly who I was thinking about when I saw this, and I was like, yeah, I'm starting off with this. Hilarious footage has captured the moment two neighbours in Minnesota get into a petty war over a pile of leaves. The bizarre altercation saw the men whip out leaf blowers and try and blow the leaves back and forth into each other's gardens. The video captured included the incident unfolding on November 19 at two homes in Inner Grove Heights. The clip begins with one man known as Larry dumping a garbage can filled with leaves over his neighbour's fence onto an already massive pile of leaves. The video then cuts to his neighbour attempting to disperse the leaves back onto his property using a leaf blower with the help of two other people. He begins firing at the leaves, sending them swirling into the air and back over his neighbour's fence, who is powerless to stop them raining down. Larry eventually stomps off to the neighbours, and his two friends continue to blast the leaves onto his garden. At one point, the neighbour with the leaf blower begins kicking the pile, scattering yet more over the fence. Later, his friends are seen scooping up huge handfuls, which are then whirled over the boundary. The footage then jumps again to showing Larry peeking over his fence and feebly attempting to stop the torrent of leaves with a much slower leaf blower. There is video, just cause. It's a whole almost 2 minutes long. It's entertaining, but at the same time, it's like, unfortunately for Larry, this is proof that size does matter. Don't be a Larry. Larry threw leaves over my fence and decided to call some I decided to call some friends to send them back. Let's go to the tape. There is no sound, so I'm going to be narrating over it. So yeah, there's the dick. Just there we go. I love that they've got. Oh damn it! I hate Daily Mail that they have. I love that he's got like the handheld, the blower there like that. I think that's hilarious. Larry's just walking off. Idiot. Don't know why people escalate feuds with neighbours to murder, they said. Just hire someone to clean the leaves and send the bill to the neighbour. I think this is more entertaining. Let's be perfectly honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think this is incredibly petty, and I do think that they're obviously sending more leaves over that fence than were initially dumped on their side. But I think there may be some animus there between the neighbours initially. I think this is hilarious. When the world knows your neighbours is bigger. Exactly. Oh, jeepers. That's funny. That's actually quite funny. Like, don't get me wrong. There's Larry with his tiny leaf blower. true, much more funny. Yeah. And look, I'm going to be perfectly honest. This isn't particularly news, but I thought we could all start the day off with a bit of a laugh, because we do have some heavy topics today, so... what's that? Super excited Labrador charges into a pile of leaves. Oh, this will be cute. Okay, moving on before I lose it. Okay, alright. Video shows New York City teen grossly drunk after he was served booze at 16 in Lux Hotel, suing him for harassment. Are you right there? Could you be any louder with the noises? Huh? Yeah, okay, there's your pats. There's your pats. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, watch your head. A swanky Upper East Side hotel reportedly served alcohol to minors to offset significant losses during the bug and explosive court filing claims. And a video provided by the father of one teen purportedly shows his 16-year-old son grossly intoxicated at the Mark Hotel. Theodore Weintraub, now 19, claims the Mark on East 77th Street preyed on teens like him in a bid to fend off foreclosure. Moving on before everyone leaves. That's bad. Seriously need to read the story for... Oh, don't worry, Stingy, I got it. It's in the lineup. I was actually going to open with that, but I thought the Leaf story was funnier. It probably wasn't, but, I mean, we're talking about a guy arrested over a sex toy, so, you know. These are the kind of stories that Stingy sends me, people. I was going to save it for Kinky Corner, but... the Mark engaged in a scheme to prioritise revenue collection by serving alcohol to underage teenagers, his attorney Leo Esses writes in the counterclaim filed last month in the Manhattan Superior Court. The five-star hotel, a favourite of celebrities including Meghan Markle and Gigi Hadid, well, that immediately just tells me that it's a horrible place to go. But anyway. I got more bag jokes for sure. No worries with that, Nix. I'm all for the dad jokes. Like, I watched a video yesterday of the first time that your son... Sorry, what is it? Granddad's reaction to the first time that his son uses a dad joke. And that was friggin' hilarious. It's a dive? Okay. It's been known amongst Upper East Side teens as a place to get served since staff either failed to verify their age or overlooked counterfeit IDs, the filing says. Grossly intoxicated seems like an oxymoron. It is a well-known fact that Theo and his circle of friends at the Mark restaurant were the go-to spot to get served alcohol as long as one had a fake ID, his father, Park Avenue cardiologist Dr. Philip Weintraub, said to the Post. Serving alcohol to the son of a cardiologist. That's going to end well. The team was first sued by the Mark in July, accused of initiating a smear campaign against the luxury hotel after it was banned for repeatedly trying to order alcohol. The complaint alleged that he hired protesters to chant and hold signs outside the hotel, alleging that the Mark denied the Holocaust and supported convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. The teen also accosted guests and employees, according to a motion filed on Monday on behalf of the hotel, seeking to dismiss his counterclaims. The latest twist in the troubled defendant's behaviour is to attempt to defend his behaviour by slinging more smears at his victim. Need to read the cop story sent to you. Cop story. Which one was the cop story? Oh, Angel! Knocking your camera over. Which cop story was it? That's right. I'll get to it. I'm sure I'll come across it. Don't stress. Keepers going full internet in real life. Yep. Trigger Rich, thank you for hitting up the like button. Appreciate that. Latest twist is to him to sling more smears at his victim. To be fair, if it's a smear campaign, fine. But if they legitimately did the wrong thing, it's irrelevant anyway. So I don't think that's really going to dissuade the court in relation to his counterclaim. The father provided the Post a 9-second video showing he claims his then 16-year-old son in the Mark's restaurant visibly grossly intoxicated and playing with food. Was he 16 or 6 playing with his food? Holy crap. An unfinished champagne cocktail, said to be the hotel's signature drink, sits nearby. Judging by this video, it should have been an obvious indicator to any and all servers and managers at the restaurant that he was behaving inappropriately. A baby-faced drunk, he said. The hotel's lawsuit claimed that the teen had been banned from the premises because he was upset over not being served alcohol, and that his parents found out about it when family showed up for dinner in September 2021 and the boy was forbidden entry, prompting him to begin accusing the hotel of being anti-Semitic and spitting in people's food. Ugh. If they serve underage kids alcohol, what are the odds Epstein didn't frequent the place? I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, this seems to all be about... Because, let's face it, they were quite clearly serving... I mean, if they're serving alcohol to minors, they're serving alcohol to minors, irrespective of whatever else may be going on. I mean, if he's doing the smear campaign, as I said, it's irrelevant if they've engaged in criminal activity, and in which they have, I don't know, broken however many regulations in relation to serving alcohol to minors. I mean, I'm interested to see exactly what activity he engaged in to get himself banned if it's such a widespread thing that they serve alcohol to minors. Like, how bad must he have been as a drunk in order to get banned? What? What is this? He's received threatening messages and phone calls since the Mark filed lawsuit against him in late July, Theodore's father told the Post. On a butterfly notepad of all things, hey Zionist scumbag, I hope the Mark sues your fat ass and you go to jail, you arrogant... Make sure you bring lubed condoms for when you become Bubba's bitch and he... You up the... You're already an alcoholic. However, the doctor now says the story is very different. The truth is that Theo was not banned from the Mark because he was angry that they wouldn't serve him alcohol. He was banned on a diet of heavy drinking at the Mark, which led to an altercation with the security guard. Dr. Weintraub said that his son had been sober since January 7, 2023. Wow, congratulations. But what was most upsetting and disgusting is the volume of hate mail and hate phone calls that Theo and our family have had to endure on a daily basis. A YouTube lawyer said kids in Texas can be served liquor if their parent is present. I have no idea. I won't comment on that because I don't specifically know the laws around that. If that's the case, fine. I have no issues with this, but I think this is in New York anyway, so... there's one way that places in New York City get alcohol permits. Fair enough. Notepad design is scarier than the letter itself. One message derided Weintraub as a Zionist scumbag while threatening retribution for his alleged acts. Why throw in a picture of Meghan Markle? Who cares? I hope yeah, I already read that. Weintraub, who seeks unspecified damages in his counterclaim, could not be reached for comment. Klein, who represented the Mark Hotel, also declined to comment. Oh, Burroberry's in here with $10 to the Dog Butt Fund. Much appreciated. Hey, you were already on the way to Dog Butt. Thank you very much for that. So that puts us at, what, $38 to Dog Butt Cam. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciate that. Oh, also, Burroberries, for the Aussies in chat, someone actually reached out to me on Twitter earlier this morning, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't think that there was too much interest in this. But this may... Look, I apologize if anyone has actually asked about it before, but this person asked whether or not I would be doing any sort of meetup in Melbourne for the local fans. I personally didn't think there would be anywhere near enough interest in that. So I've never really put it. But I mean, if there is interest, I'm happy to put something on the cards, okay? So let me know if it's something of interest to you, okay? Whether or not it's, whether it's a lunch, whether it's, whatever else, I don't know. I'm good with whatever. But basically, I just need to know that people actually are interested in it. Because, like I said, I still have imposter syndrome. Like, I get that there's like 49 people watching, 50 people watching on YouTube, and 28 of you watching on Rumble. I still have no idea why. I still don't think that I'm that interesting, okay? I still feel like I sit here and read the news to you guys. So, hopefully, if it's a... Yeah, that'll make two of us. Thank you, Emu Warrior. There's the shot to the ego. But anyway, alright. Moving on. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is a story Stingy was talking about. Potawatomi County deputy arrested after adult stores tussle. In Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, a Potawatomi County Sheriff's commander was jailed for assaulting an employee at an adult store. Investigators said the incident happened Monday night in Oklahoma City at Christie's Toy Box. Thank you. What the fuck? The PS4 YouTube app is spazzing out and spamming bad dozen messages. Interesting. What's that? We're waiting for when you'll become the new DSP. Oh, fuck that. There's a reason I grew out the extra beard. People were calling me DSP, so I hate this beard. I'm grossly intoxicated. Otherwise, I'd be elsewhere. Lovely. Yes, it's what you think it is. Fantastic. Okay. David Jewett was booked for assault and battery, according to a police report. When the responding officer arrived, he noticed the victim, a store clerk, had blood on his face and shirt. What was a guy doing in Christie's box? The victim told the officer that Jewett and a woman were walking in the store, and every time the woman wanted something, he started arguing with her. The hell? Just keeping you humble until your big break. Oh, what big break? In the report, the victim said Jewett told the woman she did not need the merchandise because the sex toy was bigger than him. He allegedly raised his hands multiple times like he was about to backhand the woman, according to the police report. And that is when the clerk intervened by asking him to calm down and that he should leave the store. The victim said that Jewett responded by saying, "You, I'm a cop." Eventually, Jewett and the woman made their way to the counter to make a purchase. As the items were placed on the counter, the victim asked the two if they needed batteries for the large battery-operated sex toy. In the report, the victim told officers that he got angry and said he should have asked... Said that he should have asked them if they needed any batteries before testing the sex toy. I'm sorry, what? The clerk said it was company policy and he could not change it. According to the woman with Jewett, Jewett responded by saying, "What the... are you trying to... you say to me, fat boy, dude, get the... out of my face." Jewett said is said to have responded by going behind the counter and punching the worker in the face. After getting punched, the clerk asked Jewett to leave, and that is when he started to punch him several more times in the face and ribcage area, according to the police report. Did you crack open a V? Yeah, I'm already like 3/4 of the way through it. I don't know what's going on this morning. I'm sorry, I just read further. Police said when Jewett left from behind the counter, he slung a clear bucket full of suckers across the store and a 2-tier container with mints. While Jewett and the woman left the store, the clerk allegedly threw a boxed sex toy at him. The victim said Jewett responded by saying that he was calling the cops. "I'm an officer of the law. You don't assault me. I can have you arrested, jailed to where you'll never ever get out." The police report states that the moments after leaving the store, Jewett was pulled over for speeding by a Norman police officer. He was given a warning and was about to be let go until an Oklahoma state trooper assisting the officer heard the vehicle description from the Christie's Toy Box incident matched the vehicle of the traffic stop Norman PD was conducting. Police say the trooper notified the Oklahoma Police Department, dispatched that they had the subject and the vehicle from the incident on a traffic stop. Oklahoma City police officers went to the location of the traffic stop, and Jewett was taken into custody without incident. He was booked into Cleveland County Jail. The news video. Oh, I'm sure the news video will be good. Let's have a look. Let's go to the tape!
Accused of assaulting an employee at an adult store. Investigators say this happened last night in Oklahoma City. Fox 25 Sarah Smith live at that business off Southeast 89th tonight. Sarah, what can you tell us?
Adam, witnesses tell us that the fight happened right here in the parking lot. We did go inside the business asking them for security footage, but we haven't received that yet, but we're working on it. This is David DeWitt's mugshot. He's a commander at the Pottawatomie County Sheriff's
Batteries
Office.
are a solar panel.
Sources say he got into a fight with an employee at Christie's Toy Box in OKC. We talked to Sheriff Mike Booth today.
We'll go get all the facts, not have a predetermined judgment about what could have happened based on some evidence.
After the alleged assault, DeWitt arrested while driving in Norman. OKC police are handling the case. Officers there not giving interviews and say the report isn't ready. Booth.
Oh, I'm shocked that they're dragging their feet with that one. They're not going to release that report until the news has died down about it and it's old news.
Says his office is handling the internal investigation.
I can't have anything that's going
He gets hit with a sex toy and there is an internal investigation. I'm sorry, I know I'm being immature. I don't care.
That I'm going to be responsible for, or anybody else here, that's going to damage the reputation of this agency.
Right now, DeWitt's on paid leave. Booth says the two chatted this morning.
Hey, take some time off, go take a break. You know what we got to do here, and we'll do our end. I'll give you a call, and we'll go from there. He said, okay.
Booth says DeWitt is a good employee.
He has done an outstanding and exceptional job, and a lot of people have an extreme amount of confidence in him. That has nothing to do with this investigation, though.
I reached out to DeWitt to get his side of the story, but we haven't heard back. Live in Oklahoma City, Sarah.
Again, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. You're being immature and that's why we watch. Oh, but haven't you heard? I wasn't going to get into it, but I saw that Alyssa clipped my last appearance on Nick's show. I just want to say there's no way in hell I'm 15 years older than that dickhead. The one that clipped the show and was discussing that. But apparently I'm not allowed to be immature because I'm supposed to be this big-time person on YouTube or whatever else. I don't consider myself like that at all in the slightest. I just like having fun. So, anyway. How did he say that with a straight face? I have no clue. This was just a hilarious thing. But anyway, alright. We do have to move on to a slightly more serious topic because we have Yahtzees. Only crooks wear balaclavas. Victoria Police Union wants more powers against Yahtzee protesters. Bite me. If you consider yourself like that, we wouldn't be here. Well, there you go. A push for extended police powers at protests comes after Victoria Police announced it will bolster its presence at pro-Palestine and pro-Israel demonstrations amid the... We're supposed to be talking about the Yahtzees. Why are we talking about this shit? These dickheads decided to march in the middle of Ballarat, which is Victoria's like third or fourth largest city, depending on who you believe, whether or not it's Bendigo or Ballarat, because it goes Melbourne down to Geelong, and then it's either Bendigo or Ballarat, depending on which figures you believe as to which city is bigger. These are the same guys that stood on Parliament House not that long ago and protested, and, with good reason, they as a result, the Victorian legislature passed a raft of legislation, basically banning the Yahtzee salute, banning the swastika, and a few other things. Yes, as far as I'm concerned, this is a massive psyop, and these guys are definitely either paid opposition or they're, it's a psyop. I don't, giving the cops the power to delete themselves only. Victoria Police Union says that neo-Yahtzee protests should be banned in the state after a small group of people in black clothes and balaclavas marched through Ballarat chanting, "Australia is for the white man!" over the weekend. The group was filmed carrying a Nationalist Socialist banner, the same neo-Yahtzee group that protested against trans rights on the steps of Victorian Parliament in May this year. In the aftermath of that event, the Victorian government outlawed the public display of the Yahtzee salute as a hate symbol. Weren't the Victoria Police the ones that went in with tear gas on the grannies during the coup? But in Ballarat, the group didn't salute, nor did they display the the Yahtzee swastika, also banned in Victoria. The consequence of which would be fines of more than $23,000 or up to a year in prison. Now look, I in no way support these assholes, okay? What happened during the World War II, what happened was reprehensible. To the point where it is, anyway. But as far as I'm concerned, at this point in time, it counts as political speech because they're not actually specifying any hate speech or anything like that. So they can march, yet bikers can't ride together or wear badges. Kim, as far as I'm concerned, that shouldn't be the case either. The whole illegal grouping legislation? As far as I'm concerned, that needs to go out the window as well. That's not doing anything against organised crime, in my opinion. It's literally just, if two people that look like they're undesirable may be gathering in a group, the police have powers over them for various things. That is some bullshit, in my opinion. But anyway, The Police Association Secretary Wayne Gatt, who called the protesters dead set crazy, said on Tuesday this meant police had no power to stop the protests because no laws had been broken. Exactly. No laws have been broken. They were protesting for a political means. As much as you may hate what they have to say, they have a right to say it. The High Court actually imputed a freedom of speech right in relation to politics. As far as I'm concerned, this is covered by it. Only crooks wear balaclavas down the streets in major cities, he told 9 News. Now look, I will admit, I will grant you that. I do agree that if they stood behind their beliefs, they should be willing to take the masks off. But the police are limited in what they can do here, as well they should be. At the end of the day, if it were up to us, it would be illegal, you wouldn't be able to do it, but it's not. It's up to the government to determine if they want this happening. This, to me, is no different than a protest for veganism, or a protest for climate change, or anything else along those lines, okay? It is still of a political nature. It is people pushing their beliefs and trying to garner attention. That is protected political free speech as far as I am concerned. The fact that they want they want to have extra powers so they can break up a specific group? No. Victoria Police said the events in Ballarat were under investigation. There's nothing to investigate. They didn't break any laws. Our top priority was keeping the peace to ensure the event did not impact the safety of the broader community. Everyone has a right to feel safe in their community regardless of who they are. We understand incidents of anti-Semitism can leave communities feeling targeted, threatened, and vulnerable. Hate and prejudice has no place in our society. Vegans can't protest. They don't have the energy to carry a protest sign. There's another Republican debate tonight? Yep. Opposition leader John Pizzuto said the police ought to have more powers at protests. There is a right to free speech and a right to protest peacefully, he said. Show me where they did anything other than protesting peacefully. They marched down the street. Yes, they were calling out slogans. Still a peaceful protest. But when you see repeated protests perhaps from different groups, where what they're really talking about is hate, prejudice, and division, then we can't sit quietly by and say that's okay. Because the simple fact of the matter is, a vegan protest would still be spewing the same sort of hate and prejudice against individuals that eat meat. So what you're saying is you want to have police powers to break up any protests. No. Okay? No. Our move-on laws are a sensible way through that. They give Victoria Police an intermediate option to diffuse situations if they don't necessarily have to arrest people or do nothing. There's been a lot of protests around the country in recent weeks, and police presence is increasing. This push for expanded police powers comes after Victoria Police pepper-sprayed pro-Palestine protesters, try saying that 10 times fast, who blocked a road in Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day last month, and a week later announced it would bolster its presence at pro-Palestine and pro-Israel demonstrations amid the genocide in Gaza. Who gets to define hate, prejudice, and division? Exactly my point. It's exactly my point. Sounds like the sort of recent referendum. Well, there is that too. Oh, look, the details of the vape ban. Hang on. Yeah, so I did get the date right. So from January 1, 2024, the importation of all disposable single-use vapes, whether they're labelled as nicotine-free or not, will be banned. Medical practitioners and nurses will be able to prescribe vapes. Patients will be able to buy their prescription vapes at pharmacies only, which means you will not get multiple choice flavours. It's just going to be horrible stuff. Can kangaroos be herded? If you try hard enough, I suppose. So in this situation... Oh, okay. That's in relation to the cop and the sex toy. Fair enough. From March 1, 2024, the personal importation of any vape product, disposable or not, as well as the importation of refillable, non-therapeutic vapes will be banned. That's some bullshit too. I'm sick and tired of the government intervention in personal lives. I really am. Where are we? What do I want? Thousands of chickens dead after a break-in in Nova Scotia poultry facility. Thousands of chickens are dead following a break-in in a Nova Scotia poultry wholesaler facility last month. The Kings County RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, responded to a call on Lakewood Drive in the village's steam mill in the Annapolis Valley. At midday on November 22, according to the news release. The estimated value of the chickens lost is around $160,000. The incident is believed to have taken place sometime between 8:30 p.m. and 11 a.m. The police declined to disclose how the chickens died or the name of the facility amid the ongoing investigation. Create a black market and have people who have been quitting smoking with a safe product inhaling vegetable oil instead. Brilliant. Pretty much what it boils down to. I mean, I spoke with someone yesterday who saw it as a blessing in disguise because it'll basically force him to quit. But, again, I don't like government intervention in personal lives. What you do behind your own closed doors, provided everyone's over the age of 18 and everyone's consenting, is none of the government's damn business. Do they really use horses anymore in Canada? I think so. I think they still do. This one's a bit funny. San Jose doctor in spicy Dragon Balls lawsuit against Los Gatos restaurant claims the truth has come out. A doctor is suing a Thai restaurant in Los Gatos over claimed internal burns from a spicy appetizer alleged in a recent court filing that she now knows what led to the incident. I tried so hard to get a copy of these pleadings. For some reason, the court website would not work for me. I tried using VPN, all that sort of stuff. I'm thinking maybe it's just down for whatever. San Jose neurologist Harjasleen Walia sued Coup d'etat in July, claiming it's Dragon Balls chemically burnt her vocal cords, esophagus, and inside of her right nostril, leaving her with permanent injuries. The restaurant, in an October court filing, denied her allegations or causing her injury. She claimed in the lawsuit that she had gone to eat at the downtown Los Gatos restaurant with her friend in July 2021, and the Dragon Balls were advertised as spicy, so she asked the server that they may be made with less spice because she does not tolerate spicy food. So don't buy them. It's really that straightforward. What, you never heard of a nostril before? Propylene glycol doesn't get hot enough to burn your lungs. Counterfeit vape products are made from vegetable oil, which will scald you. Ooh. The server said that they would have the chef make them less spicy. Well, that's why you disregard that. You specifically say you can't, that you don't make any changes like that. It's just, In a recent court filing, she alleges that a later admission, the filing does not specify when or by whom, it made it clear what led to her purported burns. A new employee who prepared the dish made an error and added additional peppers rather than reducing them as requested, so they made it more spicy than less. A lawyer representing Walia in the case did not immediately respond to questions about the alleged extra chilies. A receptionist at the medical office declined to make her available for an interview about the matter, saying, "I think she would pass, thank you," and hanging up. Classy. Dragon Balls! Roar! Are currently described on the restaurant's website as spicy chicken balls with mint, shallot, green onion, cilantro, kaffir, lime leaf, and chili for $11. While he is suing the restaurant and its owner along with the unnamed chef who cooked the appetizer, the unnamed waitress who took the order, and anyone at the restaurant that day or before who in any way influenced, designed, prepared, or participated in creating the Dragon Ball dish. Oh! Off. Are you serious right now? The doctor who specializes in treating brain injuries, she may have to look into her own situation there, and headaches, alleged that almost immediately after she started eating the Dragon Balls, she felt her entire mouth, the roof of her mouth, her tongue, her throat, and her nose burn like fire, and that her eyes and nose watered and she began coughing. She began to lose her voice and was later diagnosed with internal chemical burns from the chilies, she claimed in the lawsuit. How much do you want to bet that she went to a friend who diagnosed whatever she wanted them to? Like, A supervisor... hang on, where do we get to? She points a finger at the bird's eye chili as the problematic ingredient in her Dragon Balls. Coup d'etat and Tanatacha Shangchuang, named in the lawsuit as an owner and operator of the restaurant, did not immediately respond to requests for comment about her allegations about the new employee adding peppers. A supervisor at the restaurant told the news organization in July that it was not possible for Dragon Balls to be made in a mild version because the chilies are inside them. Dr. Kelly Johnson Arba, a physician in the Washington, D.C.-based National Capital Poison Center, told the news organization in July that eating Thai chilies, spicier than cayenne peppers, but not as spicy as habaneros, can irritate the mouth and throat and cause nausea and heartburn. But she says they're not associated with permanent tissue damage. She's seeking unspecified damages plus medical expenses, compensation for purported loss of earnings. Her lawsuit also accused the defendants of failing to train the staff to serve Thai iced tea or other dairy-based products if a customer had a bad reaction to spice intensity. Why the is that on them? She could have asked for some milk or some dairy-based shit. Like, seriously. Even habaneros aren't that hot. Los Gatos isn't that Spanish for the cats? Maybe? That would actually explain something that's really annoyed me for quite some time. Here we go. The V's gone. I'm moving on to a bottle of water. Absolutely. Don't order the spicy food. Exactly. Yes, Gatto is cat. Oh, thank you. That explains something to me. She claimed in the lawsuit she drank an entire glass of coconut water and more water, but the burning did not subside. While he is seeking a jury trial, the restaurant and the owner said in November 20 court filings that the investigation into her claims of injury is ongoing. Both sides have said in court filings that they are willing to engage in mediation to potentially resolve the dispute. This, to me, feels like a shakedown. That's my own personal opinion on it. Because you're right, Thai chilies are not going to damage you to the point where you have permanent damage to your esophagus or your nasal passage. Like, explains why the stray cat problem might be low. Sure it was chicken. Oh, God. You need a bath. This to me, like I said, this feels like a shakedown to me. This is not... I'm wondering if it's had a reaction to something else that she's ingested, or like a, I don't know, she's a neurologist, maybe she's of good standing, maybe she's not, I don't know what she may have ingested prior to going to the restaurant that may have interacted with anything. I mean, who knows? Maybe, just maybe, the new staff member didn't actually use green Thai chili peppers. Maybe they used naga or ghost peppers, for all we know. Who can tell? But I can honestly say with a reasonable degree of certainty that I would not expect a green Thai chili, to cause permanent damage to someone's mouth. Like, and the fact that she's willing to go to mediation just tells me she's looking for a payout in that regard, honestly. My own personal opinion, but that's where it is. So, alright. Oh, let's talk about the detention laws. Teal MPs slam perversion of democracy on immigration laws. Maybe it's the shit she talks about, the burner mouth, maybe. Independent MPs are furious at a Labour plan to rush through laws through federal parliament on Wednesday, which passed, by the way, to deal with the High Court decision on indefinite detention, when most expected to vote on the changes on Thursday, the last sitting day of the year. Yeah, by the way, today, for us here in Australia, is the last day that Parliament's going to sit through till about February, I think. Tell me again why we pay these people like $300,000-$400,000 a year. I also learnt yesterday that the treaty organisation that are going to be negotiating a treaty with Indigenous Australians are also individually receiving approximately $300,000 to $400,000 a year on salary. Given that that's at state level here in Victoria, I'm not happy with that. Anyway, Employment Minister Tony Burke said the government wants to bring the preventative detention laws to the House of Representatives on Wednesday night after a day of speeches in honour of Labor MP Peter Murphy, who died earlier in the week. They get more time off than school teachers? Yes, they do. Burke, the senior minister responsible for the management of the House, also wants to pass new citizenship laws tonight, but the late change in arrangements means that MPs will not be able to get back to Canberra in time. Independent MP for North Sydney, Kayla Tink, is angry at the short notice and the rush with the law. You know why there's a rush with this law? Because the High Court struck down the previous indefinite detention that held a whole bunch of nasty people behind bars, including a convicted terrorist, and in the week or so since all these people have been released, 4 of them have gone on to commit serious crimes. Wish my government would disappear for a few months. Every Australian should be concerned about the laws we've just been advised to push through the House tonight on a non-sitting day, she said. This is not democracy in action. This is what regimes do to communities when they're seeking to have complete control. They pass laws in the dead of night without the citizenship knowing about it. Well, to be fair, if you were paying attention, the citizenship were paying attention to it. Yes, and the hitman that killed a pregnant lady. Yep. The House of Representatives were not scheduled to sit on Wednesday. This changed on Monday when the government chose to hold a day to speak on the condolence motion for Murphy, with most expecting the detention and citizenship bills to be debated on Thursday. The advice on timing changed to Wednesday morning. The government plan is to hear from 70 speakers in the condolence motion, and then take a short break in the afternoon before resuming the debate on the detention laws at about 6 p.m. The government appears to want them passed by 9 p.m. And they did, they passed. If these laws are introduced back into the House today to be voted on, it will be a complete perversion of our democracy. Why? Why would it be a perversion of democracy? The laws have gone through first reading, second reading, vote. It's gone through the entire process required for a bill to become legislature. That's not that. It's gone through the entire legislative process in order to become law. How was this a perversion of democracy? What, because you had to get out of bed and go work an extra day? I don't feel sorry for you for that. Australians have to stand up and demand that our proper democratic processes are respected and carried through. Who had a scheduled day of meetings with her constituents on Wednesday. Independent MP Zoe Daniel, who represents Goldstein in Melbourne, is in Canberra but unimpressed with the sudden change. The government needs to stop giving into the opposition's default position on politics of fear and make careful laws on matters for which have profound and important consequences for community safety and also human rights and the nature of Australian citizenship. I agree with that. I do, but if people have come here illegally, if they have some rather nasty criminal backgrounds, I don't have a problem with them being in detention until it can be ascertained whether or not they're going to be a danger to our community. As these 4 individuals that have since been rearrested have shown. Because, as Burberry's mentioned, yes, there was a hitman that killed a pregnant lady. There was a convicted terrorist. There was a PDF file. These are all individuals that had been behind bars for a legitimate reason. And yes, the High Court had every reason to use their justification to strike down the rules in the first place. I get that. Sometimes government have to move quickly when it's in the interest of the public, though. And the fact that these people are whinging and moaning about democracy not having been attained, when it actually is following the proper processes, I don't have an issue with it being quick. Especially if it's in the interests of protecting the community from a child rapist. Like, seriously. Because it's not as if these laws were going to affect any actual Australian citizens either. It's not like this was aimed at the public. To force the House to vote on legislation with no warning, no debate in the dead of night is the tail wagging the dog and absolutely not politics done differently with this government promised. Andrew Wilkie from Clark in Tasmania and Kate Cheney from Curtin in Perth may not be able to take part in the vote. The independent member for Mayo in South Australia, Rebecca Sharkey, said she was told on Tuesday that the vote on the detention law would be held on Thursday. For me, this whole process has been clumsy, she said. Assurances were given yesterday afternoon. The earliest debate for the migration bill would be tomorrow. This makes a mockery of Parliament, really, and disrespectful to members who do not live close by. You literally get thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for private, travel. I'm sorry that it is a burden for you to have to hop aboard a private jet to get to Parliament House to cast a vote. I really am. My heart fucking bleeds for you. Damn it. My heart bleeds for you, in addition to the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you receive every year for sitting on your ass, okay? It affects us now that they're out and about? Exactly. A number of members will likely be absent from any debate and vote that are obviously very important, on what are very important matters, and for a political fix to deny the opposition a little more time to beat up the government over the fallout of the High Court decision. Sophie Scamps, independent member for Macalla on the northern beaches of Sydney, said MPs had been told by the government that Wednesday was to be used for the condolence motion for Murphy. Now that we've been told at the last minute the government has plans to introduce its migration detention amendments today, as independents, we take our responsibility to understand legislation before we vote for it very seriously. So abstain! If you have not done your due diligence prior to this week to actually look over the documents, you're right. You haven't been doing your job. You have not actually been doing what we pay you to do. Whether it was Wednesday or Thursday should not make any difference. If you have not come to an opinion on this bill, if you've not read it cover to cover, it wouldn't have mattered if you voted on Wednesday or Thursday. I put that squarely on you for not doing your job. The only way to get a different government is all of the old has to go. Yeah. Independent Zali Stegel, who represents Warringah in Sydney, said the damage from the move was greater to those who represented Australia further away from Canberra. Springing these votes on Parliament with no notice this evening is not only disrespectful, but also sends a message to constituents in seats further than a short flight or drive to Canberra that their voice doesn't matter. Bullshit. Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek told ABC's Radio National Breakfast on Wednesday morning the stronger laws needed to pass through the lower house in order to protect the community. I can say to the community that the community's safety is the government's first priority. Well, I doubt that, but that's not the point. And that's why we've got the Border Force and AFP operation. That's why we put $250 million into these agencies to make sure they've got the tools they need to keep Australians safe. Really? Because you lost one of the guys that you released. He had a anklet tracker and he disappeared. That's $250 million very well spent. See, I'm not actually siding with the government on this. I'm saying that they should get a fine like we do if we don't vote. Might be nice. Coalition frontbencher Simon Birmingham denied the opposition was trying to create fear in the community to score political points from the government. We've had these terrible incidents take place, and is why the government has been negligent at every step of this, he said. Greens leader Adam Bandt, who I could not give a flying about, said the government was creating a two-tier legal system. In Australia, we have a system if you commit a crime, you serve your sentence, and that if you do anything else wrong, you can get arrested and be taken before the court. What the government and the Liberals are proposing is to go further and start talking about legislation that says if you might commit a crime in the future, you can get locked up. No. I can see how you can twist that, Adam. The whole purpose of this is that if individuals come to Australia illegally and they have a criminal history of serious violent offences, that they can be preemptively detained until it's decided whether or not they should be deported to their country of origin. That is not the same. That is not the same thing. When the government and the Liberals are proposing to go... said that's treating people born in another country in a different way to the way that we run the legal system here. Surprisingly, I don't have an issue with that. If they come here illegally, they should understand that there are consequences. And that's why legal experts have raised real concerns about this. Because here's the thing. For those of you that are in America, or specifically Texas, shall we say, or New Mexico, let me run this by you. All those illegal immigrants coming in across the border, if you're unable to stop them at the border and they enter the country, what would you do with them? Particularly if these people were found to have serious violent offences in their criminal records. Would you let them run free in the community? Or would you detain them until they return to either to Mexico or across the border? What would be the appropriate way to do that? We're in the same position. Except our people, rather than just walking through a gate that Biden's wedged open with a door thing, it's literally they're arriving by boat. What's that? Flamethrowers and scoreboards. It's terrible. All right, but playing on from that, we also have Mark Dreyfus, who is refusing to apologise with a reporter. Sorry, I will not be apologising. Dreyfus shouts at a reporter in a fiery High Court exchange. Attorney General Mark Dreyfus has lost his temper at a Sky News reporter, declaring he would not be apologising for upholding the rule of law. In a fiery exchange during a press conference on the federal government's proposed preventative detention laws and laws to strip terrorists of their dual Australian citizenship, something again I support. A door wedge. Thank you. Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill was asked by reporter Olivia Casely if the government owed an apology to people affected by the reoffending of the 3 people released from immigration detention. Well, it's 4 now. The High Court's decision on November 8 in the case brought on behalf of a stateless Rohingya man who had served time for raping a child found that detainees could not be kept in indefinite immigration detention if they could not be deported. In a statement tabled in the Senate yesterday, Dreyfus said legal advice made it clear that detainees' criminal record could not be used to keep them in detention. Since the landmark ruling, at least 3 of the approximately 150 people released from the detention have either been arrested or charged. Poor now. The coalition has called on O'Neill and Immigration Minister Andrew Giles to resign over the violent sexual offender and child sex offender released into the community who were charged with fresh offences this week. They immediately got released and they immediately committed the same crimes. A third former detainee was charged after he was found in possession of cannabis. That I'm less caring about. Raping a child, I care about. The Home Affairs Minister began to respond to Casely pointing out that the government had acted in accordance with the court's ruling, as it was legally bound to do so, and added that if I had any legal power to detain all of these people, I would do so immediately. At that point, a visibly annoyed Dreyfus stepped in to reprimand Casely, pointing out and raising his voice at her. I want to suggest to you that your question is an absurd question. You're asking a cabinet minister, 3 ministers of the Crown, to apologise for upholding the law of Australia, for acting in accordance with the law of Australia, for following the instructions of the High Court of Australia. I will not be apologising for upholding the law, I will not be apologising for pursuing the rule of law, and I will not be apologising for acting. Casely tried to interrupt with a follow-up question, a common practice for reporters, and Dreyfus snapped, "Do not interrupt! I will not be apologising for acting in accordance with the High Court decision. Your question is an absurd one." To me, this shows that he knows that it was not the correct way to deal with this. O'Neill could then be heard muttering, "Okay, I think we'll move on here." Casely had tangled with senior politicians before. Earlier this year, former Prime Minister Paul Keating snapped at her, "Because I have a brain," when she asked why he was certain that China was not a threat to Australia's national interest. Paul Keating specifically said, China is not a threat to Australia's national interests. You... Remind me why PDF files can't be deleted. They lost their right to live in society already. I would have... Giles said the government had already began preparing applications to return high-risk offenders to custody once the new laws pass. I will work firstly with the officials of the Commonwealth and then with the states to ensure that we are prepared for every high-risk offender to make sure we can get the best application in as quickly as possible. I'm really disappointed at the contribution of the Greens to this, because this is not a novel concept. We've already had preventative detention regimes that deal with high-risk terrorist offenders. And I would say here that the risk is clearer because we're dealing with people who have already committed offences and serious offences. Like, seriously. I'm not sure why the government hadn't already sorted this out. Like, I don't understand why this wasn't already on the books. If you commit a serious crime, for example, raping a child, how is there not already something on and you then illegally enter Australia? How is there not something already on the books saying, yes, we can hold on to this person till we deport them? Why? Like, I don't understand how the High Court was even able to do that, because the government should have done their goddamn jobs. It's not that difficult. But anyway. Family of a West Palm Beach chemist who OD'd on kratom is suing a smoke shop for his death. Excuse me. The family of a man who overdosed on kratom is suing the smoke shop that sold it to him. Patrick George, 41, was found unresponsive in his West Palm Beach home on December 13, 2022. According to his family, medical examiners pointed to a lethal dose of mitragynine, the chemical compound known as kratom, as his cause of death. In the wrongful death lawsuit announced on Friday, his family accused the glass chamber chain of smoke shops of knowing its customers are at risk of death but doing little to warn against the danger. Theirs is the latest in a series of lawsuits blaming suppliers and manufacturers for kratom-induced overdoses. Though commonly touted as a pain relief, kratom is known to cause seizures, respiratory failure, and fatal overdoses. The FDA warns about the herbal drug kratom being used for pain relief. Similar lawsuits have prompted multi-million-dollar payouts for victims' loved ones. A federal judge in West Palm Beach awarded more than $11 million to a family of a Boynton Beach nurse who fatally overdosed in July. George's family filed the lawsuit in Palm Beach County State Civil Court. Glass Chambers did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Deport them to whatever open border nation to the ever open border nation of Woodchipper. So what is it? Do I actually care about any of this? Not really. I'm gonna move on. Basically, guy overdoses. City is suing the dispensary that sold it to him. A Florida motorist accused of firing at a Rhode Island home stopped with over 1,000 rounds of ammo. This will be interesting. Let's have a look at the language on this one. In East Providence, Rhode Island, a Florida motorist accused of firing shots at an East Providence home before leading officers on a wild pursuit in Rhode Island last week appeared in court on Monday. More than 1,000 rounds of ammunition were recovered from the black Nissan Armada, and several guns were also found in the backpack discarded along the chase route, according to police. Law enforcement officials brought more than 100 counts against Joshua Pavo, 43, with the last known address in Kissimmee. No pleas were entered into the court on Monday, with bail set at $100,000 with surety, and he was ordered to turn over all of his firearms and his passport. National anthem goes brrr. How white and democratic is he? He lives with a parent in Florida and will be allowed to return to the state only after meeting pre-trial conditions, according to officials. The court's clerk office did not immediately name the attorney representing him. During the chase, the suspect crashed into several other vehicles. The pursuit ended with his SUV crashing and spilling bullets and cartridges on the roadway in East Providence. He abandoned the vehicle, fled on foot, and was arrested, according to police. It was an extremely volatile situation involving a dangerous and unpredictable suspect who put so many of our residents and police in harm's way. Charges included 106 counts of possessing a large-capacity feeding device, discharging a weapon from a vehicle, eluding an officer, and obstructing officers. So there you go. Like, it's impressive that he was carrying all that. But anyway. Dine and Dash bloke run up a £452 bill with 3 meals and 26 pints, but didn't pay. Dazzler, go pay your bill. A suspected conman is under investigation after he racked up an eye-watering hotel bill before dining and dashing without paying. The businessman-like bloke spent £452 over 3 nights at the Angel Hotel in Halesworth, Suffolk, where he enjoyed 3 meals before slipping away. He also downed some 15 pints of Birra Moretti, 8 pints of Guinness, 7 rum and cokes, and 3 pints of Aspal, alongside 5 bags of mini cheddars and other sides. I'm sorry, over 3 nights? Oh, okay, it's because he was at a room there. He secured a room at the 500-year-old establishment using a debit card and even bought chocolates for staff to thank them for their work. However, on his final day several weeks ago, he left the premises and sent the family running an email saying he would come back later to settle up. The hotel's manager, William Tennant, said the name of the man gave the staff seemed to be legitimate, but although employees had attempted to charge his card multiple times, the transaction never went through. When Mr. Tennant went to look up the elusive guest online, he discovered he was suspected of carrying out the same scheme elsewhere. It's disappointing. More than anything, we look after people well here all the time. Why are you not charging for the meals and the alcohol then and there? Like, putting it on the tab? That's a bit dangerous. Hotels charge restaurant meals for the room. How did he dodge the bill? I mean, apparently he dodged the entire bill, including the room. It's obviously some sadistic game that he likes to play, or an addiction that he's got for doing it for so long, or it's just how he spends his time and gets free food and beer. He even bought chocolates for us to say thank you for our hospitality. It's not a small amount of money, or turnover-wise, you have to earn a significant amount of more to get that back profit-wise. Mr. Tennant said the man appeared to be in his early 50s with a dark-coloured, thinning hair. He spoke with a Suffolk accent and arrived via train on November 20. The alleged con artist had initially booked to stay just one night at the 3-star hotel at a price of £70. During breakfast the next day, he asked to stay another night and made the same request the following day, bringing the total cost of his board to £210. The remaining $242 went on food and drink, as he happily spent his evening downing tipples at the hotel bar. Mr. Tennant said the man had been very complimentary throughout his stay. He was polite and very complimentary to our staff, saying how amazing he had been treated. He sat with his back to the camera at the bar, whilst looking back must have been an intentional thing. There's CCTV footage of him everywhere. I thought he was too brazen to be a con man. Speaking of the man's escape, he said, "It's not impossible to leave without anyone seeing you." He emailed to say, "Sorry, I had to leave in a rush. I'll be back in time to check out and settle my bill. Can I stay another night?" We then thought this was a bit weird now. When we Googled him, we saw and realised this is the guy. We never heard from again. The issue has now been reported to the National Fraud Reporting Centre Action Fraud. Pauline Smith from the police team said Action Fraud can confirm it's currently being assessed by the National Fraud Intelligence Bureau and the City of London Police. Time to dine and dash my kitchen. The article is leaving out half the information. Probably. It's a Daily Star. I read this shit for fun, not for accuracy. Alabama woman allegedly stabs her husband to death a year after she stabbed him before. A Moulton woman has been charged with murder after authorities say she stabbed her husband to death almost a year to the day after previously stabbing him. Ashley Latrice Wright was arrested on Monday in Mississippi in connection with the November 30 death of Carl Dwayne Jones. Wright, 25, was taken into custody during a traffic stop in the 600 block of State Street in Clarksdale, Mississippi? I think they said, yeah, Mississippi. According to Clarksdale police, she was then extradited back to Alabama. Bond has not yet been set. According to the court documents, he was found dead with a chest wound. The police responding to the call at about 8:38 p.m. discovered Jones at the Relax Inn Hotel. The death happened almost a year to the day after a similar incident was reported on December 1. Wright was arrested at the Relax Inn for allegedly stabbing Jones in the chest with a steak knife. He reportedly suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Quick question, Aussie. Dreamed of you last night, placing... For starters, they're not saggy, but that's not the point. Pizza buffets, large capacity feeding device. English have to have bureaus for everything. What are you going to do? Stab me? Famous last words. She gets pissy around the holidays? Yeah. Alabama girls hold a grudge. Clearly. Oh, crap, I didn't mean to close that one. Got that. Got that. Pensioner, 81, who lied about his deteriorating eyesight so he could keep driving before killing a pedestrian in horror smash, has been jailed. A selfish pensioner who lied about his eyesight so he could keep driving has been jailed after he ran over and killed a pedestrian. Neil Pemberton, 81, who had been told to stop driving 9 years ago due to his failing eyesight. Had been told. A court heard today. It had deteriorated to the point where he could only read a number plate 2.5 meters away from when the legal requirement is 20 metres or 66 feet. But the pensioner carried on getting behind the wheel of his Honda Jazz, and on March 17 last year, he collided with pedestrian Peter Westwell while travelling at more than 1.5 times the speed limit in a built-up area. Mr. Westwell, 80, from Billington, was described by his family as an active, fit, kind, loving family man who had fought to stay independent despite his age. He died at the scene after being thrown in the air and suffering catastrophic injuries while crossing the A666 at Langho in Lancashire. Pemberton of Blackburn was driving at 48 miles per hour in a 30 zone at the time of the collision, according to the Preston Crown Court. Pemberton, who admitted causing the death by dangerous driving, was jailed for 32 months. Sentencing Judge Simon McClend Casey told him he knew he was suffering from extremely poor eyesight and had been told not to drive. The judge said that when he took a test in 2016, he had no vision in his right eye and very poor vision in his left. He had been warned twice, and it was obvious he was not fit to drive. The judge said Pemberton selfishly prioritised his own convenience by continuing to drive, and was repeatedly dishonest when he reapplied for his licence and indicated to the DVLA that he had nothing wrong with his eyesight. Peter Westwell's daughter Hazel paid an emotional tribute to her father and pled with people to take responsibility for their fitness to drive. I really want to thank the people who stopped that day and tried to help my dad. It means I know he wasn't on his own. They were all so kind. Dad was walking that day because he'd been told by his doctor and his family that he needed to stop driving, so he did. I would ask people to please take personal responsibility when it comes to their health and driving, and would also ask family members to have the difficult conversation should they have any concerns. My dad was an active, fit, kind, loving man. He fought and worked hard to stay independent, and for him to die as a result of someone else's selfish actions is almost impossible for us to bear. Detective Sergeant Helen Parkinson of the Lancashire Police said, "My thoughts are with Peter Westwell's loved ones. They've lost a much-loved dad, granddad, brother, uncle and friend in what was an entirely avoidable tragedy. Very sadly and ironically, Peter was walking that day as he'd been told he couldn't drive for medical reasons. Drivers have a personal responsibility to make sure our roads are as safe as possible, and making sure your eyesight meets the standard of vision for driving is an important part of that, just like checking your car is in a fit state to drive." Tragically, Neil Pemberton's failure to meet the personal responsibility had all too obvious catastrophic consequences. Didn't Prince Philip keep driving late and get into a wreck? No wonder the dude didn't. Slightly different, though. I mean, because he had royal privilege or whatever the hell it is. I mean, the Queen didn't have a driver's license. I can't remember if Philip did. I don't think he did. Sorry, I just got to check something. Okay, alright. Moving on. Targeting costly meds. The Biden admin asserts authority to seize certain drug patents. I'm sorry, what now? The Biden administration has determined that it has the authority to seize the patents of certain high-priced medicines, a move that could open the door to more aggressive federal campaign to slash drug prices. The determination, which was described by 3 people familiar with the matter, represents the culmination of nearly a 9-month review of the government's so-called march-in rights. Progressives have long insisted that these rights empower the administration to break the patents of pricey drugs that were developed with public funds in an effort to create more competition and lower prices. Okay, I hate to say it, but I actually agree with this. It's the other reason why I can't talk. Look, you know what? I'm going to talk in code. Because we know that in 2019 and 2020, a whole bunch of alleged umbrellas were developed by certain companies. We also know that that development was pushed by countless public taxpayer dollars. As far as I'm concerned, if that's the case, those patents belong to the people. Because if it's my money that's being used to develop it and then force it onto people, as far as I'm concerned, that's... yeah, no. No, I do not consider that to be communism, Porcelain Thunder. Not in that instance. More socialist stealing by the nursing home. There's laws protecting from that. There's the last thing that allows medicines to have generic... what? There's this thing that allows medicines to have generic cheap versions. The administration will not endorse the widespread use of marching rights and is not expected to take action against any individual medicine, said the people familiar with the matter, who are granted anonymity to discuss internal decision-making. Instead, the Commerce Department on Thursday plans to issue a new framework spelling out factors that federal agencies should weigh in, determining whether or not to take march in action against expensive drugs or other individual products that were created with federal help. The reason medicine's so expensive is countries like yours steal the patents. Fuck you. I don't care. The price and availability for the product to the public are among the factors the department will recommend that agencies consider. The departments will seek public feedback on the framework, which is likely to face sharp opposition from pharmaceutical companies that argue it's illegal for governments to seize patents and would disincentivize the development of new drugs. The White House declined to comment. Okay, you own the bioweapons. The administration's decision comes as... okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. Got to recoup the research and development costs somewhere. I agree with that. Does that mean that the government's going to recoup all the money from them? Or is that money going to go into the back pockets of the companies? That's my question. If a company uses government funds that are funded by taxpayers to develop something and then obtain profit from it, I don't believe that that's appropriate. But that's my own personal opinion, and people are free to disagree with that. I don't give a shit. The White House has scrambled to highlight Biden's health accomplishments in recent days after former President Donald Trump suggested he would repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act if elected in 2024. Biden's officials now plan to make a fresh push to put healthcare at the center of Biden's re-election platform, rolling out proposals in the coming days that would expand on Democrats' passage of laws, capping insulin prices for Medicare recipients and allowing Medicare to negotiate the price of certain drugs. Biden has also portrayed himself as a chief antagonist of the pharmaceutical industry, casting his drug price policies as central to his administration's battle against Big Pharma. Is he really battling against Big Pharma, though? Is he really? The Commerce Department and Department of Health and Human Services were already expected to issue their determination of the government's march in authority in the coming weeks, the people familiar with the matter said, but the announcement was accelerated in the wake of Trump's comments, and officials are expected to cite it as evidence that Biden continues to search for new ways to lower prices. Government should get its share of the profits like an investor would to continue putting into research. Exactly. I don't have any issues with that. My issue is when a company takes government funding and then uses it to create something, but then doesn't give anything back to the government. Because, again, that's our money that's being used to develop something that they're then making billions of dollars of profits on. First day repealed insulin bill by Trump. Fed cost is normally higher than the current prescription costs. Interesting. Yeah, how much did Biden pay for that? I don't know. I'm sure iconoclast. No clue. Okay, where are we? But the announcement was accelerated in the wake of his comments, and officials are expected to cite it as evidence that Biden continues to search for new ways to lower prices. The departments launched their review in March after the administration rejected petitions to use Marchian authorities to seize the patent for a prostate cancer drug called Xtandi? Okay. The decision prompted criticism from prominent progressives at the time, including Senator Bernie Sanders. What has Australia developed? Wi-Fi. You're welcome. Who later stalled Biden's nominee for the National Institute of Health, partly over the administrator's reluctance to use its march-in rights. So there you go. Criminals stole that from Marmite. If the government is just offering incentive for certain products to be made, that doesn't mean the company's entered into contractual obligation. Well, then in that case, the government needs to fuck off and they shouldn't be doing it in the first place. If they're just giving away money, that's pathetic. Where are we? American chocolatier behind brutal killing of Canadian millionaires, according to authorities. An American chocolatier has been charged in connection with the murder of 2 Canadian millionaires in the Caribbean. Quebec entrepreneur Daniel Langlois and his wife Dominique Manchand were found dead in a chartered vehicle near a luxury eco-resort on the tropical island of Dominica. Langlois and Marchand were enjoying a nice day on the island when they were ambushed by hitmen who shot them and torched their car, the Daily Mail reported. The Dominica police said. The inferno that engulfed the car reportedly destroyed the bodies to the extent that they are impossible to identify, forcing police to rely on circumstantial evidence to connect them to Langlois and Marchand. Wait, what now? Like... Is this just a case of some millionaires that have faked their death then? Like... This is a type of terrible, brutal crime that cannot be ignored, and we cannot allow those responsible to get away with. The government will provide investigators with everything that they need to solve the crime. Police have detained 4 people in the death of 2 wealthy Canadians, including American chocolatier Jonathan Leher. Leher, who owns the 53-acre chocolate and coffee plantation on the island near the resort that they were developing. The businessman and Langlois had been in a feud for years over a road that passed through the chocolatier's estate. Court documents report in the Journal de Montreal. Leher objected to the use of the road, which was public and being used by Langlois for his resort. According to the court documents reviewed by the Daily Mail, Leher would routinely try to take action and block the road. This includes dumping boulders on the road, digging trenches, and putting construction equipment on the side, saying workers were trying to get to the resort that couldn't pass. Reviews left for the estate say travellers who ventured onto the public road were at times followed and screamed at. The father spoke to... his father spoke to Journal de Montreal, saying he didn't believe the allegations. Jonathan's a successful businessman, not a murderer. Excuse me. We are very close, and he's not a violent man at all. I have a hard time believing it. Just because he's not a violent man doesn't mean he couldn't have paid someone to be. He made his fortune creating software companies, in particular one that provided 3D animation for movies like Men in Black, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and Jurassic Park. The resort the couple had built in Dominica included mountaintop accommodations and were completely off-grid. 3 others were expected to be charged in connection with the crime, including Leher's wife. Why? And how? You've literally just said that the entire case is based on circumstantial evidence. Yeah, I really don't like that. Man gets new trial after being convicted of murder based on a blind guy's testimony. A Cook County judge overturned the murder conviction Tuesday of a man who was found guilty in the fatal shooting of a Southside gas station, primarily based on the testimony of an eyewitness who turned out to be legally blind. Darian Harris, who was an 18-year-old high school senior with a clean criminal record, when prosecutors charged him in an ambush-style shooting that left 1 man dead and another seriously injured in June 2011. Now 30, Harris has long maintained his innocence, saying he was at home watching LeBron James play in the NBA Finals between the Miami Heat and the Dallas Mavericks. But a now retired judge found Harris guilty in 2014 and sent him to prison for 76 years on the basis of testimony from a blind guy. More than 4 years ago, his legal team, family, and friends began urging the Conviction Integrity Unit of the Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox to take another look at the case. Among other arguments, they said the key witness had failed to disclose to the trial judge that the witness was legally blind. Damn it, I'm going to take this one. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, hello. I'm attorney Hayden Glaister, better known to many of you as Aussie Overlaw'd on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. For years, I've fought for justice in the courtroom, but today, I'm here to introduce you to a new kind of justice. The justice for inner peace. Are you tired of the daily grind? Exhausted by life's endless challenges? Do you need a moment of respite or an escape from this boring reality? Introducing the Dragon's Treasure Teas, where they bring the power of relaxation one sip at a time. Life can be tough. We all face challenges, the stress of work, the chaos of daily life, and the never-ending demands on our time. It's enough to make anyone feel like they're backed into a corner. But at Dragon's Treasure's Tea, they've found the solution, and it's steeped in the wisdom of centuries of storytelling and the occasional anime battle. The tea blends are expertly crafted and hand-picked from the most serene gardens in all of Middle-earth, and flavoured with some of the most difficult to find mythical creatures. Each cup of Dragon's Treasure Tea is a journey to tranquility, a sip of solace, and a respite from the storm. And the best part? They're not just offering you a tea, they're offering you a way of life. A life where serenity prevails and stress is just a distant memory. So if you're ready to take a break from the chaos and find your own piece of serenity, visit dragonstreasure.com. Dragon's Treasure Teas, where justice meets anime and relaxation. Remember, life is a journey, and every sip of Dragon's Treasure Tea brings you one step closer to your own oasis of serenity. Or, you know, a half-decent anime. Dragon's Treasure's Tea. Use code KOALA for 10% off. Side effects may include spiky hair, a powerful aura, main character syndrome, an inexplicable urge to take up swordplay and archery, reincarnation into a fantasy world, and generally just having a good time. Dragon's Treasure Tea. Oh, really sorry about that. Oh, damn it! The joys of running a law firm. Sorry, guys. I had to take a couple of calls. Pretty sure this ad is some kind of war crime. Oh, bite me! Between me and my editor, we put some hard effort into that. So, you know, Dragon's Treasure Tea, Code Koala. Help a brother out. What did you say? Look like I had sex here? Absolutely not. I just, you know. Oh, what was that? Rocco's Life says, I like the advertisement. Well, thank you. Okay, where are we? Shit, where did I get to? Yeah, I'm not happy about it either, okay? I don't like the interruptions. More than 4 years ago, his legal team, family and friends began urging the Conviction Integrity Unit to have a look at the case. Amongst other arguments, they said the key witness had failed to disclose to the trial judge that the witness was legally blind because of his glaucoma. Though those efforts did not yield immediate results, Cook County prosecutors agreed that his post-conviction request to vacate his conviction and sentence, clearing the way for a new trial. On Tuesday, Cook County Judge Diana Kenworthy granted Harris's request, so simply saying, "So we are going to start over." The judge, citing the serious nature of the charges, declined to free Harris while he waits for his new trial. He's charged with first-degree murder, first-degree attempted murder, aggravated battery with a firearm. Shackled at his ankles and dressed in a blue jail garb, he did not speak during the brief court hearing. He waved to his wife and mother and an uncle seated in the courtroom gallery before being led back to jail. His mother, Nikisha Harris, told reporters afterward that she was disappointed the prosecutors decided to retry the case. "They're wasting taxpayers' hard-earned money," she said. "We are retrying a case with no physical evidence or DNA. All the witnesses recanted or changed their stories, and the judge based his verdict off the testimony of a blind man." Members of the victim's family did not attend Tuesday's court hearing. The judge who found Harris guilty in 2014 was unaware during the trial of the witness's medical diagnosis, according to Harris's attorney, who said in court filings that Harris was wrongfully convicted based on mistaken eyewitness testimonies and without physical evidence tying him to the crime. The victim in the shooting, 23-year-old Rondell Moore, had pulled into a BP gas station in Woodlawn because of car troubles after 8 p.m. on June 7, 2011. Moore put up the car's hood to inspect the problem, assisted by a local mechanic who appeared at the station on his bike shortly afterwards. Moore's older brother and a friend were also there. The station's surveillance system did not capture the shooting, but prosecutors said the video did show an individual walking away from a black Lexus around the gas station building towards the area where the shooting occurred, then running away shortly afterward. The video showed a man whose thin build and short hairstyle generally fit Harris, but the suspect's face was not visible. Quite a few say the tea and coffee is gorgeous. I'm waiting for decaf. I've got a couple that I picked up at Montsuri. I hear Mana Potion's really good. I didn't grab that. I got the Griffin Familiar and something else that I have yet to try. But the Griffin's Familiar is amazing. Oh, and the Christmas one, the Candy Cane. Love it. Absolutely love it. They say justice is blind. Not really in this manner, Rocco. This is a little bit worse, especially when you've got no physical evidence, no DNA. Camera doesn't catch his face. To me, it's pretty freaking reasonable doubt. If there's no one to point the finger at him, then I mean, this guy may have been in jail on a technicality, unfortunately. Picturing the witness pointing and proclaiming that's him there, only for someone to move his arm until he's pointing in the right direction. The 51-year-old mechanic survived bullet wounds to his back and arm. Harris was arrested days later. He opted to have a judge rather than a jury decide his fate at trial. At the time, Cook County Judge Nicholas Ford said he based his ruling primarily on the testimony of Dexter Salford, a man who testified that he witnessed the shooting while on his way home from a fast food restaurant. Salford testified that he was riding his motorized scooter north on Stony Island Avenue near the gas station when he heard gunshots and someone about 18 feet from him holding a dark handgun. Salford testified that he saw the shooter aim the gun at a person near a car with its hood up. He could see the muzzle flashes and heard the 2 gunshots. He also said the shooter bumped into him while running away, nearly dropping the gun while trying to put it in his pocket. He picked Harris out of a police lineup and also identified him in court during the trial. His eyesight came up briefly during the trial court records show. Harris's attorney asked Salford if his diabetes affected his vision. He replied yes, then paused and changed his answer, denying that he had any vision problems. This guy wanted this kid to go to jail. But his doctor had deemed him legally blind some 9 years before the murder records show. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's not that he wanted this kid to go to jail. Maybe, just maybe, it's that because of the glaucoma, he's not supposed to be riding a motorized scooter? What was it? Yeah, motorized scooter on North Stony Island Avenue. Maybe, just maybe, he was worried that he'd self-incriminated. Magically working eyesight, straight up perjury. Safford's doctor, as part of his post-conviction petition, his legal team cited medical records dating to 2002 that Safford had publicly filed in various lawsuits regarding his disability. Harris's attorneys also presented to the court an expert opinion from an ophthalmologist regarding Safford's impaired vision. He has very, very poor vision, Meisker Mueller told reporters on Tuesday. He really couldn't see anything. In rendering his guilty verdict in 2014, Judge Ford said he found Safford credible. Ford called him an honest witness and said that he'd given unblemished testimony. The inconsistencies in the testimony did not rise to the level of reasonable doubt, said the judge, unaware of his medical diagnosis. Safford could not be reached for comment on Tuesday. I put $10 on the fact that this guy doesn't testify again. Motorized scooter, fast food, and gunfire. Very, very, very American. It's a miracle. His eyesight returned. The Harris case was subject to a 2019 investigation by a local journalism organisation, Injustice Watch. Though prosecutors maintain they have credible evidence from other eyewitnesses that point to his guilt, Meisker and Mueller alleged that police misconduct played a role in those identifications. She said the alleged getaway driver, who has since died, took the stand during Harris's trial and recanted his initial identification of Harris. He said Harris was never in his car and the police officers coerced him into making a false identification, threatening to put him in jail for the rest of his life if he did not cooperate according to the records. The police detectives also testified, denying they pressured the man to identify Harris. Ford noted the man's recantation might be due to fear rather than the truth. Though prosecutors aren't required to provide a motive, they theorized during the trial that there was bad blood between Drury Harris and the Moore brothers. Harris's attorneys also said in court records that they had uncovered evidence identifying the actual shooter as another teenager who was killed 7 months later, also during an ambush-style shooting at a Southside gas station. Gun station. Like Blinken from Men in Tights, I can see... Oof, no, blind again. I can see! Oh, no, blind again. God, that was a good movie. See, back when movies were allowed to be funny. I miss Mel Brooks. Chicago PD is completely corrupt. If we don't reach Dogbutt Cam today, can we at least get a glimpse of her getting a treat? Yeah, look, if we don't get to Dogbutt, I will give her the treats to the value that's already been provided. Drive by, thumbs up, mate. Home late, up early. No worries, dog. Good to see you dropping by. An attorney with the Exoneration Project at the University of Chicago Law School said a gas station employee who did not testify during the 2014 trial has identified that man, not Harris, as the shooter in the earlier incident. The employee alleged police tried to coerce him into making a false identification. In a statement, Fox's office said prosecutors did not object to vacating Harris's conviction due to shifts in witness testimony and available evidence, and in the interest of justice and to ensure that the principles of fairness and due process are upheld. I didn't say he was dead, I said he's not making movies. Actually, when was the last Mel Brooks movie? Hang on. Mel Brooks, last movie? Last 10 movies. Okay, well, last 10 movies will do. Been waiting too long for Spaceballs 2, The Quest for More Money. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, no shit. He did a TV series earlier this year. Huh. Oh, no, he appeared in one. Okay. Did some voice work. Hang on, one upcoming. What's upcoming? Young Frankenstein Live. Okay, interesting. Did he not just make one? I got no idea, honestly. TV series. Apparently he wrote Paws of Fury. Okay. Spaceballs, the animated series in 2008 to 2009. New Spinal Tap movie being filmed in the spring. That could be cool. That could be good. Young Frankenstein. Producing Young Frankenstein. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's been involved in much in the last couple of years, which I suppose makes a certain amount of sense, but anyway. Alright, moving on. This decision is not made lightly, but with a profound sense of responsibility towards the integrity of our legal system and the community we serve. Securing justice for the victim, the statement read. We're committed to a fair and just resolution of the case, guided by the evidence and the law. Prosecutors pledged to pursue a new trial. The defendant's wife, Jessica Harris, also attended Tuesday's court hearing. She told reporters they married more than a year ago. She and his family visited him regularly whilst he was incarcerated in downtown Maynard Correctional Center. That's the good thing about Darian. He's very positive. You will not see him not smiling. He has very high hopes for his case. I'm starting to think that, what's that? Passion of the Christ Resurrection to be released in 2024. Huh. There you go. Saw a couple episodes of Spaceballs animated. Wasn't that great, to be honest? Well, fair enough. Okay. This could be a thing straight out of Seinfeld. A woman who threw a burrito bowl at a Chipotle staffer was just sentenced to working at a fast food restaurant. Rosemary Hain, a 39-year-old woman from Ohio, just received perhaps the lightest sentencing possible after assaulting a Chipotle employee. On November 28, Judge Timothy Gillian of Palmer Municipal County, I'm just so used to reading that as Farmer, in Ohio, ruled on Hain's case, noting just how obscene the crime was. You didn't get your burrito bowl the way you liked it, and this is how you respond, he said during the sentencing. This is not Real Housewives of Palmer. This behavior is not acceptable. The entire real-life episode was filmed by a bystander who posted the video on Reddit, which meant that Judge Gillian and the rest of us could see that the situation was as messy as it sounds. And apparently it's expletive ridden. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I shall preview whether or not it's worth it. Oh, she looks like such trailer trash too. Okay, you know what? I didn't hear shit, so let's watch this. Like, if you're able to hear the swears out of this, I congratulate you and feel free to, like, strike me. I don't care. Because I can't hear shit out of this. I mean, they're clearly getting into some sort of argument. She's not happy about the bowl, however it's being made, I don't know. My sister like that. Wait, Chipotle do catering? Are you serious? Did someone barf in a guac? No, I think it's purely just she didn't like the way that they put the ingredients in, so... Oh! Oh, and she was a little bitch about it too. You see the way she threw it and then ran? And this Karen's not having a bar of it either. This is going to be... She's speaking Karen, most of what she's saying is expletive. Ooh.
Oh my god.
The black guy at the end, the smile on his face. He knows he's going viral. Okay. In the video, Haynes slams down her order on the counter while shouting at Russell for nearly a minute, who stands on the opposite side of the counter and tries to reason with her. Eventually, Haynes gets so worked up that she tosses the fully loaded bowl at her face, and the rest of the room at the diners gasp and later try to intervene. So Haynes can't leave unpunished. Haynes and her fellow diner quickly rush out of the restaurant after the incident. However, speedy Chipotle patrons captured her license plate number and contacted the local police, who arrested Haynes at her home on September 5. What's that? Chipotle is currently sponsoring SF6 Capcom Pro Tour. Huh. Elder Karen senses weakness in the younger Karen. I kind of like, I kind of just want to, like, I'm terrible at like a documentary. Like, I can't even do like Steve Irwin. And here we see the elder Karen. She smells the weakness. She senses it. She moves in for the kill. That was terrible, but anyway. For her misdeeds, she was initially ordered to pay a fine and serve 180 days in jail with 90 days suspended. 6 months, and she had to spend 3 months behind bars. Due to the unique nature of her crime, the judge offered her an alternative option to reduce her jail time. If she agreed and followed through with working 20 hours per week at a fast food restaurant for 2 months, she could reduce her time behind bars to 60 days. Haim reportedly apologised to the court and to Russell, accepting the counteroffer, and will soon be standing behind a fast food counter. Whether it's Chipotle is yet to be determined. Yeah, I know it's for assault. It's still friggin' funny that she's doing this. Like, as for Russell, the victim, she decided to resign from Chipotle and told Today she's now dealing with symptoms of anxiety on the heels of the burrito bowl. Oh no. Russell wasn't even initially involved with Haim, by the way. As the manager on duty, she bravely stepped in after Haim started yelling at a 17-year-old employee. We live in a world where we could have done anything she wanted. She could have punched me in the face or pulled out a gun. I'm lucky I only got a bowl thrown in my face, she reflected. Both Chipotle and Russell confirmed they agree with Haim's adjusted sentence. I just didn't want her to get a slap on the wrist like everybody else and just walk away with it. She got exactly what she deserved. She's going to walk in my shoes. You know, she's working 20 hours a week. She's lucky I was working 65-hour weeks. Damn! A month from now, woman sentenced to work at Chipotle arrested again for throwing burrito bowl at customer. It depends when it depends when it starts. I mean, does she do the month, like, does she do the 20 hours a week at the fast food prior to going into jail or after she gets out? Like, I mean, as bad as it sounds, this court order comes with jail time and a guaranteed job after she gets out of jail. That's more than a lot that's more than a lot of crims get. Just saying. Laurie Shallow, Chipotle's chief corporate officer, told Today, the health and safety of our employees are the greatest priority, and we're pleased to see justice served for an individual that does not treat our team members with the respect that they deserve. Russell found a new job at a different fast food restaurant and has received more than a few great tips after her experience. The bystander who filmed her assault and shared it on Reddit didn't just post the video, she also started a GoFundMe entitled Support Emily. As of December 5, it surpassed its $1,500 goal and stands at $1,902. I'm a very introverted person and I like to keep to myself, she says. You might not be cut out for management then, just saying. But I've never felt so loved and supported by my family and friends and from strangers across the United States. Plenty of food and wine editors have put in time at restaurant chains and affirmed that everyone should work in the hospitality industry to witness the full buffet of humanity. Now Haim will join those ranks, and we guess that she might change the way she dines. Doubt it. I doubt it. And treats restaurant employees after walking in their shoes, donning their aprons, and dealing with others who may be less than pleased with her burrito bowl building skills too. So there you go. Oh, goodness me. Alright, this one's got a trigger warning on it. Antonio Rotondo guilty of contempt of court after allegedly creating deepfake images of school students and teachers. An Australian man who is being sued for allegedly making deepfake pornography of high-profile Australian women has admitted that he continued to publish similar images even after he was ordered by the court not to. Antonio Tony Rotondo, 53, appeared via video link from prison and represented himself in federal court in Brisbane on Wednesday.
Why are you gay?
He's being sued by Australia's e-safety commissioner, who alleges that he created fake pornography images of several women without their consent and published it to his own website. A deepfake is an image or video in which a person's face or body has been altered to make it appear like they are doing or saying something that never actually happened. The court heard on Wednesday that Mr. Rotondo is facing further charges from Queensland Police, who allege he created deepfake images of teachers and students from a prestigious Brisbane school. Wood chipper. All I'm saying, wood chipper. He was fined $25,000 for contempt of court after admitting that he breached 3 court orders. Are you serious? And you're wondering why people never take contempt of court seriously. The orders were made by the federal court judge in October, which demanded he remove the deepfake images from his website, refrain from posting any further images, and which required him not to publish the orders as they contained information which identified some of the women involved in the claim. On Wednesday, the court heard a day after he received the orders by email, he forwarded the documents to the eSafety Commissioner staff and copied in 49 other email addresses, including those belonging to media outlets, alongside an intimate deepfake image of another Australian resident. For fuck's sake, what are you doing, dude? Dude is going to jail. Domo arigato, Mr. Rotondo. Barrister for the eSafety Commissioner Mark McKinney told the court at the time Mr. Rotondo would not remove the images from his website, but following these court proceedings, he provided his password to investigators who have now taken them down. He admitted to all 3 contempt of court charges. When asked why he sent the email to media outlets, he said, "I didn't realise that was a court order. The email I received had more than 80 pages of writing. I didn't read all the pages, I just forwarded the email." You're representing yourself. You read everything, you wit. Jesus. In delivering his decision, Justice Roger Derrington said the offending was objectively serious and noted it was concerning that Mr. Rotondo did not show any remorse or contrition for his conduct, and yet you charged him a grand total of, hang on, let me do the math, $8,333.33 per contempt of court charge. He remarked, if not for Mr. Rotondo's help in taking down the images from the website, more harm would have been done to the women allegedly depicted. On October 27, one day after sending the email to the media outlets, he was arrested by Queensland Police and charged with creating deepfakes of Brisbane school students and teachers. He was charged with 5 counts of obscene publications and exhibitions, 1 count of obscene publication exhibition of a child under 16, and endangering a property by fire. The charges followed a police investigation involving several agencies, including the Australian Border Force. Police said on September 10 they received a complaint from a Brisbane school alleging it had been sent an email including deepfake images of students and teachers. Detectives then allegedly discovered that a number of similar incidents had occurred at other facilities and businesses across southeast Queensland. Distributing deepfake pornography can be considered a criminal offence in some states, but is largely uncharted territory for police. If he wants to get out of the hole, he needs to put down the shovel. I don't think he wants to get out of the hole. That's the thing. If Mr. Rotondo is convicted on the Queensland police charges, it could be the first time a person is criminally prosecuted for distributing deepfake images. The eSafety Commissioner commenced legal action. So here's the thing, though. It's not going to be because they're deepfakes. It's going to be because it was pornographic material of a minor. Like, they need to fix this shit up. They really do. The eSafety Commissioner commenced legal action against Mr. Rotondo in the federal court following a four-corner story that included allegations that an anonymous online creator was posting deepfake pornography of Australian women, including several public figures. He will now attend mediation with the eSafety Commissioner before the matter returns to federal court in Brisbane at a future date. So there you go. Don't really care about that. All that. Mr. Rotondo, do you think he's fat? I doubt it. I think he's probably copped that for however long and he keeps himself svelte. Alright. Man dies on way home from Panera after having 3 charged lemonades. Seriously? A large lemonade contains 390 milligrams of caffeine, nearly the FDA's daily safe limit. Wow. Hang on, how much caffeine's in one of these? 77.5 milligrams. So one of these things is 3 times the allowable limit for a V. Damn. Okay. A second person has died after drinking Panera's caffeinated charged lemonade drinks, which contain caffeine levels comparable to a strong coffee and are sold in cups as large as 30 fluid ounces that are free to refill. According to the lawsuit filed by family members on Monday, 46-year-old Dennis Brown fell dead on the sidewalk from cardiac arrest while walking home from Panera in Florida on October 9. Before he left the restaurant, he had ordered a charged lemonade and had 2 refills. In September, college student Sarah Katz, 21, went into cardiac arrest after drinking a charged lemonade in Philadelphia. Katz had a heart condition called long QT syndrome type 1 and had avoided energy drinks because of it, according to the lawsuit. I'm sorry, there's a certain element of buyer beware there. Provided the fact that it's got caffeine on it, caffeine in it is plastered somewhere. Charged lemonade. Yep, it's on the thing. Plant-based. You've got caffeine. No, that's on her. She had a heart condition, avoided it according to the lawsuit. Like Katz, Brown has also avoided energy drinks because of a health condition, in his case, high blood pressure, his family said in the lawsuit. His cause of death was cardiac arrest due to hypertensive disease. The lawsuit also noted Brown had a mild intellectual disability, and it's unclear if he was aware of how much caffeine was in the self-serve drink, which was sat side by side with all of the store's other non-caffeinated or less caffeinated drinks. That's stupid, it says it on the label. Yeah. That's terms displayed and delivered to me, as far as I'm concerned. It's buyer beware, caveat emptor. They have taken it upon themselves to down certain levels of caffeinated drink. If they're going to blame his mild intellectual disability on the fact that it had a high level of caffeine, as far as I'm concerned, that means that he should not have been attending alone. If an intellectual disability prevents you from making safe choices in relation to what you do or don't eat or drink, when it is very clearly displayed that something contains a high level of caffeine, no, I think that's... If you know you have a caffeine, they need to be hypervigilant. Then you have to be hypervigilant. Yeah. The coffee is hot, by the way. Exactly. Only drink water, all filtered through coffee. Lawsuit also it's unclear what beverage size Brown ordered and how much caffeine he consumed. The charged lemonade comes in a 20-ounce regular or a 30-ounce large. The three flavors of the lemonade that Panera offers have approximately 13 milligrams of caffeine per ounce, similar to the restaurant's dark roast coffee. So it's the same as drinking a 30-ounce thing of coffee. I'm sorry, sir, we can't serve tards here. Also heard water might be wet. Yeah, and the sky may be blue. This means that a 20-ounce drink with no ice contains around 260 milligrams of coffee, and the 30-ounce contains 390 milligrams. Depending on the beverage size that he ordered, that could have put his caffeine consumption up to 780 or 1,170 milligrams in one sitting. Did you know that 100% of people who drink water die? Oh, I know, right? Deadly Jolt. The Food and Drug Administration advises that a limit of 400 milligrams of caffeine per day is generally considered safe for healthy adults, but a lower level is advised for adults with certain medical conditions or who are pregnant or breastfeeding. Boobs! The agency notes that toxic effects such as seizures can begin with doses of 1,200 milligrams of coffee. At 13 milligrams per ounce, the lemonades are on the high end of of caffeine compared with coffee. According to the FDA, an 8-ounce cup of coffee generally contains between 80 and 100 milligrams of caffeine, which is 10 to 12 milligrams per ounce. Excuse me. That means drinking about 4 to 5 ounce cups of coffee a day is generally safe. Some energy drinks contain less caffeine by volume. An 8.4 ounce can of Red Bull contains 80 milligrams of caffeine, or 9.5 milligrams per ounce. The original Green Monster energy drink contains 160 milligrams of caffeine at about 9.47 milligrams per ounce. But others are much higher, such as the Hyde Extreme Ready to Drink, which contains 400 milligrams of caffeine. Damn it! Are they arguing the coffee is too coffee? No, Isabel, what they're arguing is that this soft drink is dangerous for people to drink and has caused people to die, apparently. To be fair, it's been individuals that have had blood pressure issues or heart conditions, which, as far as I'm concerned, as I said, given that it is right given that it is right there, it's quite obvious that this is terms displayed and delivered. These people took it upon themselves to drink the charged lemonade. As far as I'm concerned, this is a non-starter. Families of Katz and Brown have called for the lemonade to be labelled a dangerous energy drink with inadequate warnings. Inadequate warnings? What? In a statement, they said, Pereira expresses our deep sympathy for Mr. Brown's family. Based on our investigation, we believe his unfortunate passing was not caused by one of the company's products. We view this lawsuit, which was filed by the same law firm as a previous claim, to be equally without merit. Pereira stands firm by the safety of our products, which they are. Is that the original label, though? Makes me wonder. Look, that's fair. I will give you that. I mean, what's that? Since the lawsuit, some restaurants have moved the containers of the lemonade behind the counter. Company also increased warnings about the caffeine content. Company said it has no plans to lower the caffeine levels, but some pages on the website indicate lower levels of caffeine in the drink. Wait, where's the comments? What's that? Legal Eagle had an episode on this very topic. Just watched it last night. Can't make a link to it, but guess you can find it on YouTube. Yeah, but it's Devon, so odds are it was incorrect. I used to go to Pereira regularly until I removed the 3/4 of the sandwiches I ate from the menu. The drink seems generally dangerous if not served in controlled amounts. Yes, but it's up to each individual to consume properly. That's on them. So, Food Theory did a video months ago. Oh, well, there you go. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this is the one that Jason was talking about earlier. Alabama officer on leave after video shows her using stun gun on man who is handcuffed. The police chief and the mayor of the city of Reform have said that they were aware of the video and that the police department is turning over all materials related to the arrest to the State Bureau of Investigations. An Alabama police officer is on leave after a video posted on social media showing her cursing at and using a stun gun on a man who is handcuffed and crying. The video begins with a handcuffed man lying on the street as an officer with the Reform Police Department tells him to stand up. The officer then walks the man over to the car, the video shows. Stay still, the officer says as she pushes him against the hood of the car and holds her stun gun to his back. I ain't doing bro, the man responds. I got a gun right there. As the officer removes the gun from his pants, she allegedly laughs and says, oh yeah? What you saying oh yeah for, the man remarks. The officer responds by using a stun gun on the man. The video shows, shut the up, she says. The man starts crying, okay, he repeats. Oh my god, you want it again? The officer asks as the man continues to cry. Shut the up. You was big and bad, shut your up. Actually, I probably could have just said your bitch ass up. Anyway, the video then ends. It's unclear what happened before or after the 47-second clip posted to Facebook, and the Reform Police Department has shared very little information about the incident on Saturday. In a brief statement, the police chief and the mayor said that they were aware of the video and that the police department is in the process of turning over all materials related to the arrest of the Alabama State Bureau of Investigation. In accordance with the city police, the officer involved has been placed on administrative leave while the investigation is conducted. Further questions were directed to the State Bureau of Investigations. NBC affiliate WVTM of Birmingham identified the man as Micah Washington, 24, of Toluca. His girlfriend, Jalexis Rice, said the officer pulled up as Washington and two other people were changing a tire on their car. Rice said the video made her upset. I'm shocked. A video seeing her partner get tased? I'm not surprised. It's almost funnier with the bleeping. When I seen it, I couldn't do nothing but cry, she told the station. I couldn't do nothing but cry. Good God. Online jail records show that Washington was charged with resisting arrest, obstructing government operations, possession of pot, drug trafficking, and being an ex-felon in possession of a firearm. Okay, so I think there's probably a single actual charge there that I'd be believable. Because, I mean, on the video, he allegedly admits that he had the firearm on him. But again, then we're talking, is it constitutionally valid? He's being held at Pickens County Jail on a $505,000 bond. On Monday night, Washington's loved ones and members of the community gathered near City Hall to protest the arrest and demand accountability. Black and Davis have requested a thorough investigation. Reform is a notorious speed trap on 82, I'm not surprised. Drank that much before, but not in a single sitting over a 10 to 15 day period. Okay, let's see whether or not I can... we're down to 58 viewers, so let's see whether or not I can get yeeted off YouTube. I could use the...
Protest Monday night in response to the viral video showing a police officer using a stun gun on a handcuffed man. We want to warn you, you might find this video disturbing.
You heard it there, people. You may find the video disturbing, so don't at me later.
After an exchange of words, the police officer pulls the trigger on the stun gun and then asks,
"You want it again?"
Oh my god, the accent! No. Oh, I know I shouldn't be laughing because this poor bastard is just like... Oh my god.
Shut the f*** up, you was big and bad.
She could then be heard calling him an explicit name.
She tased him in the back, and she was holding it. She was just holding it there until he started crying.
Jalexis Rice, girlfriend of Micaiah Washington, says this all started when her boyfriend and two others were changing a tire of the car they were...
Yeah, but see, here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have with this, and I'm just chant White Lives Matter. YouTube will get you soon enough. Probably. Look. This is a 45-second snippet, okay? This is disturbing, Hayden reported. Well, I don't know who Haddon is, Pulse on Thunder, so that's fine by me. You have that accent. Sorry, Wim. Can I get a link to the news story? What? To the new store. I want the Cup of Concrete shirt. Yeah, sure. It's literally... hang on. Where are we? There, I'll put it in chat. You want it again? Heard the cop Dana Elmore learns what fear for her life really means. Damn. I mean, look, Jason, you brought this one to me, so I know what your opinion on this is going to be. I'm just going to devil's advocate for a very split second here. He's an ex-felon. She is. Yeah, well, I'm not in any way supporting or agreeing what she did there. What I'm saying is devil's advocate. We haven't seen what happened before this. I mean, anything could have taken place prior to this footage actually starting. So, Clarice went downhill. I don't in any way agree with what she did. And I do not agree with police brutality of such manner and magnitude. Nor am I saying that it's in any way warranted. What I am saying is, was there an altercation prior? Did he take a swing at her? Did he get freaked out because she stopped and he's an ex-con and he knew he had a weapon on him? Like, she has no business being a cop. No, I agree with that. But, you know, we've got...
Driving. She says that's when the officer in the video pulled up, eventually putting her boyfriend in handcuffs and tasing him.
When I seen, I couldn't do nothing but cry. I couldn't do nothing but cry.
Following his arrest, Washington was booked into the Pickens County Jail on several charges. He has a bond of $500,000.
See, here's the thing. I mean, the resisting arrest, presumably there's body cam footage. And, I mean, at this point, when she's got him with the taser, admittedly, and that's pathetic and ridiculous, but he's already in cuffs, so I'm wondering whether or not there's any actual... I want to see the body cam, is what I'm saying. I want to see the body cam from the start to the end. Although it doesn't actually look like she's wearing one, so maybe there isn't any. Which is not great.
Bond of $500,000. In a statement, Reform's police chief and mayor said they're aware of the video and the police officer has been placed on administrative leave.
She fell face
However,
first into the
people
tackle
attending
box.
Monday's
That's terrible.
rally say they want more done.
She needs to be fired. And
I agree with that. She should be fired, absolutely.
feel like she can leave and go somewhere else and do it if they don't hold her accountable for nothing. You are police. You here to protect and serve us. How do we supposed to trust you and this how you treat us?
It hurt my feelings for real.
In the statement from the mayor and police chief, they said in part, the department is in the process of turning over all materials related to this arrest to the Alabama State Bureau of Investigation and has requested a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding.
When did you add the... Have you always had the fake nose and mustache on there? I think that's great.
The arrest.
Like he's anyone in that county, he's gonna make a $500,000 bond. Yeah, no, I don't think so. What's that? Podcast subject Tyler Goodson killed in police standoff. No, I'm not doing that. No way the city has body cameras. You don't reckon? Okay. What else do we have? 2 North Carolina law changes have changed fentanyl fines and concealed carry rules. Dozens of new laws are now in effect in North Carolina as of December 1. Some deal with stricter fines for drug traffickers, while others deal with election law. Senate Bill 41, part of Senate Bill 41 introduced by Senator Danny Britt Jr., is now in effect in North Carolina. The part of the law now in effect allows concealed carry permit holders to bring firearms into places of worship that also have schools. What? Rude awakening for them is that police have no obligation to protect and serve. Yeah. Why does it matter if it's a private church that has a school? We spoke to the senator in February this year. He said the law is aimed to give private churches the same rights. Dane Britt owns DB Private Training in Wilmington, where he teaches the class on concealed carry and shooting lessons, while also educating people in safe storage laws. He's in support of the bill, saying it gives more opportunities for people to defend themselves. I think any time law-abiding citizens get more rights, we like why their rights are being taken away in the first place, he said. According to the bill, carrying a firearm during school hours or when students are present would not be allowed. Those who oppose the bill, like Jill Hopman of the New Hanover County Democrats, believes that the idea behind the bill is flawed. The idea that we would make it easy to have access to guns, period, around any area where children are seems like a short-sighted pursuit to me, she says. Hobman says that a staggering number of youth have died from gun violence in the past decade, and she believes the bill ignores that. Have you seen the one with the 4 fat women cops who lose a suspect that they had already apprehended? I did see that, yeah. It's a dangerous bill that puts lives at stake that can be avoided. It seems to be prioritising the gun lobby over children and family. Britt and other supporters say it's not about putting kids in harm's way, it's about protecting churches. The bill will launch a 2-year statewide initiative to educate the public about safe storage and gun locks. Senate Bill 189, an act to increase the fine imposed on people convicted of trafficking of heroin, fentanyl, or carfentanil, will increase the fines for people convicted of drug trafficking between 4 and 14 grams of the substance on them. The fines increase from $50,000 to $500,000, a 900% increase. Damn. Barbara Walsh lost her daughter Sophia to fentanyl poisoning at just 24 years old. She died after drinking fentanyl from a glass of water, but the family did not find that out until months after her death. Walsh says she hopes the new law which with the increased fine, will be enough to curb traffickers from selling and distributing the lethal drug. Oh, I doubt that. On Jeff's stream this morning, there was another just a few bad cops, but this cop died from a heart attack and the actual innocent person was charged with the cop's death. Damn. In North Carolina, it's illegal to carry on private property where it was otherwise prohibited to carry, which the school would be. Ah, okay. I think this is a deterrent for people to think twice about trafficking fentanyl, and maybe it will save somebody's life. While the new law can't bring her daughter back, she hopes it could save others' lives in the future. We're paying it forward for, unfortunately, the 8 people who die every day from fentanyl in North Carolina, she said. The DEA reports that just 1 gram of fentanyl can kill 500 people. Damn. So, there is that. Alright, got that. Alright, I think I'm going to end it there, guys. I do have to go and do some work and stuff, but, oh, hang on. Almost forgot. Because she knocked over the camera herself. Present extra camera. Oh, damn it. Don't know why it does that occasionally. StreamYard doesn't like it occasionally when browser can't access your devices, close any applications that might be using your mic. What? Oh, for crying out loud. I don't have anything else open that's got access to my cameras. Why are you not working? Why are you no work? Alright, if I quit NVIDIA Broadcast, that's going to stop my camera there. Okay. Present extra camera. Logitech stream cam. There we go. And I'm just going to stop my camera because that's just easier. How are you going to play your outro if you're bleeping? Oh, I don't care about the outro. Honestly. There she is. Alright, so thank you very much to Booberries and everyone else that gave super chats. Here you go. Full treat. Hey, watch the fingers. Maybe it's the OnlyFans. Not so much. Alright, sit. Sit down. Sit. You look pretty for the camera. Teasing. Sniff. Okay. Good girl. Alright guys, please remember, as always, you are not a piece of shit. You do have value and you do contribute to society, especially if you double check whether or not you've hit that like and subscribe button for me. And as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I will catch you on the flip side. She grabbed it like she hasn't eaten in 2 days. Yeah, she was feeling a little bit sorry for herself, so. But that's alright. This is why we have Doggo Cam, people, so you can see her get pats and treats, because she is a beautiful pupper, ain't you? Huh? Alright. Peace out, peeps. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.